now. Okay, there we go. Did anyone get an email? Okay, yes, people got the email. Perfect. Yep. Yep. There
Right.
you are.
I'm right here. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. Hope everybody's doing great. Check something here. I'm always checking something. All right. All right. How are you doing, Kevin, Richard? Hope you guys are doing well. Only 28 people watching. What's going on? Who moved my cheese? Let's say hi to everybody here on Zoom. We've got Vernon. Hey, Vernon. We got DJ Dave. We got Ken. We got Richard. Hey, Richard. We got Jill. We got Gus. We got Scotty. We got was that Julio or Julio? Julio, right? Julio. Jason. Hey, Jason. Robert. Cyrus. Christopher. Nicholas. Jason. JB. Ray. Graham. John. Wes. Competition is you on replay. I could live with myself. Leslie. David. Kathleen. James. Brendan. Mike. Uh, Adam, 61% on S&P. You made 61 or you're down 61%? I just want to make sure I understand you correctly, Adam. Mark, Rick, Ken, Murray. Oh, no, Murray. You got it kidding me. Oh. Hey, Zoom user. Hey, Petro. Joy. Why don't you get a hotel room, Murray? Mike, Ralph, Cyrus, James, Omar 100% on MNQ on AZP. Cool, cool. Make sure to grab those, Matt, please. Mark says vote Dave for Canadian as possible to Trump, but to put his nose on his own. I have no idea, Mark, what Trump is gonna do. I don't think Trump knows what he wants to do. Who knows? Who knows? Here's how I work. My job is to make you guys see things that nobody's talking about. Once it's completely penetrated the world, it's what's the point of me talking about it already, right? Mm. By the way, my wife had a sponsorship. She had one of those. She has these Ukrainian sponsorship events. Where yesterday it was a brunch. It was really good. Murray was there. Thank you for being there, Murray. It was fantastic. We had a really good time. Stayed there till about 2 o'clock. Murray stayed there till 4:30 in the morning. I could see. He didn't. But where did you have dinner, Murray? Somewhere further south. You were a busy guy yesterday. You need to get some rest. You really do. I actually don't know where you find the energy, Murray. But thank you for coming. I do appreciate it. All right. So let's continue. So continue. But I wanted to tell you something interesting. Uh, a lot of folks don't know this, so I want to tell you this. If you're looking for a news source that's completely non-sided, in other words, they don't try to give you on any side, and I like that a lot because I'm not political and I'm not trying to be political. USA Today is the most neutral publication out there from the broad spectrum, like comparing to MSNBC, CNBC, Fox News. If you want something really in the middle, like really, really, really in the middle, they consistently win the award for being the most in between. So just because I'm always looking for something that's right in between, for whatever that's worth. Jason, two trades, AZP up $360. You're welcome. Chris, Jeffrey, Murray. Yeah, Rosalind, we're down on the spy calls. We're taking a draw. Matt, what's your stop loss on this thing? Do you have a stop loss?
I do.
Okay, all right. You may want to write it up on the channel.
Yep.
Spy, put. Oh, put. Very nice. Very nice, Adam. Rosalind, he made a statement to vote for Liberal Party. Yeah. Arturo, Murray, I meant to take a 5-minute car nap. Gotcha. Oh, no, 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 Murray, no. Prediction of Goldman, 43% possible recession. Yeah, I'm more of I'm closer to about 60%. Ken says those who interpret the rampant news never agree with each other. You need to make sense of it all. Right, exactly. Exactly. It's trading live, not AZ live. It's trading live. Yeah, give everyone an update. Carlos is asking you for an update.
Mm-hmm.
Stuart says hi. I'm just reading the testimonials. I'm going to be here just for another minute and then we'll start. Just give me a minute. Think about next month. Are you the doomsday people about the mark? Are you one of the doomsday? I'm not doomsday at all. I'm not that kind of person at all. I'm extremely like, no, no. People will tell you, Stuart, that I'm the most level-headed guy when it comes to the market. I don't panic. I don't get FOMO. Matt barely has a pulse, as you could see. See what I'm saying? So no, no, I'm not a No, no, I'm not one of those doomsday people. So if I'm start saying things are bad, things are bad. No, I'm not one of those doomsday people. I've had people here who've been watching me for almost a decade. No, I'm actually pretty bullsy most of the time. No, 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 no. Anil made HLE. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a good one. Good. That was Helen of Troy. Helen of Troy. Good for you, Anil. Good for you. Go ahead and grab that, Matt. It's hard to find nowadays. I'm telling you, check out USA Today. It's very in between. And no, I don't make any money from selling it. I'm just, people ask me, like, we were talking about it yesterday. So I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'll tell you guys. Maybe you'll be curious. But the most impartial is USA Today. What's the story with Groupon? I don't know. No news came out on it. I don't know. David, good afternoon. Thank you, Sylvia. Yeah, I don't get. Yeah, I don't get really. I don't get. Like, I mean, I'm going to tell you guys. I'm going to tell you something. Try trading. Try trading a 20-30 million dollar position at a time. This stuff starts. The hard part for me here is not the trading. The hard part for me here is you guys look like it's like peeing in the public. That's what it is. Admin says, Roger, why have you not stopped out yet? Admin, I've been asking my assistant that now for about an hour, and he gave me several different answers. Why don't you tell everybody here, Matt? It's actually a great question.
Of the spy?
Yeah, usually he stops out like this, but today he's
Uh,
very, very bullheaded. So
Mostly, I'm not convinced. We're right at the POC, point of
point
control.
of control. That means point of control, folks.
Right.
Go ahead.
A big thing also, Nvidia is not moving lower anymore and hasn't been for uh, coming up on an hour. So,
SMH didn't make a new low either, by the way,
right.
although it may as I'm talking. But
And
go ahead.
volume is
Yeah.
light, and there's just not a lot of follow through on the downside. It's just kind of meandering. So as soon as the volume comes back in, we'll have a large rip to the upside if buyers come in. So even if I'm not convinced it's going to be a winner, and we're not trading options, so I'm not worried about decay. I would at least want to stop out at a better spot.
Anyway, that's that. Usually he stops out faster than you could say, he's out. But today he doesn't want to be out. What are you going to do? I'm going to let him deal with it. I'm just going to let him run with it. To follow Roger when he's Dom, I don't know who you were talking about. Yeah, folks, post for everyone, please. Continue lower, so is Vold. Yeah, I know. It is continuing lower, but you see, Joanne, ADD and tick are not really moving to the point of r- trend day. You see, the fact that I'll give you the mags moving lower, and I'll give you the Vold moving lower, and I'll give you even the fact that the VIX is moving a little higher, although it's at a resistance area right now. You know what? Why don't I share my screen so we can learn from this? Let's stay on this topic for a second. So, look, Joanne, look, I'll give you this. I'll give you this. Okay. And I'll may even give you a little bit of this. Although we're right now at a really interesting point where we may come down. But this is not going down. First of all, if anything, if it's got to go, it's got to continuously hit below 900, and it's just kind of sitting around here. And ADD line is going down, but it's nowhere near 1500. So there's not a lot of breadth to the downside. See, if this is and Joanne, this is the same thing. The same thing I keep barking all the time. How if you look just at this and if you don't look at this number, I was just talking about this like about a week ago. How if you just look at this and if you don't look at the number, okay? If you just look at this and don't look at the number, you're not going to really get a good reading on ADD and you're not going to get a good rating on tick. These you actually have to look at the number. If you just look at this, it's going to look very noisy. So here I look more at the trend, not at the number. Here I look at the number and the trend. But here, this doesn't really mean anything unless it goes below 1500 and this below 900. Since Volt is not a tradable asset, does it do good to watch for weak high-low candles? I just watch for a continuous smooth trend. That's all I want to see. Was always said to everyone. Discretionary. What did I miss? Alpha zone flashes an up arrow twice in the last few minutes. It's got to be more than just an up arrow. Did I miss anything else? Hold a few with ESMS. You could hold a few. Sure, you could hold a few days if you wanted to. This default. Oh, it's all good, Richard. Don't worry about it. Omar made another 24%. Good for you. Good for you. We're at a pretty good support level here intraday on the SPY. There's a lot of liquidity here. I don't know how far it's going to go up, but I think we're going to have a nice little bounce. Unless we get some bad news. All right. Robert is asking me what Volt is. Robert, I've spent countless times talking about it. You can just go on the internet and type it up. Zero DT does not mean call or put option. Now, folks, when people start asking me questions that are not related to what we're talking about right now, this is when I start tuning you out. So let me put up TC 2000. Remember, this is not customer service live. I don't look like Cam. He's better looking. And that's that. But they do have the Boberman. They do have the Boberman there. I got to give them that. Chi, you see, let me ask you guys a question. Why would you ask me a question that you can go to Google and ask? Don't you think my time is better spent? Like Robert, you can go to Google and type in Volt right now. And Chi, you can type in 0 DTE right now, and you could see that it means 0 days till expiration. It has nothing to do with call option. So my point is, and you're right, Glenn, that's exactly what I'm about to do. But my point is, why do you guys ask me questions that somebody else can answer? Ask me questions that nobody else can answer. Wouldn't that be a smarter way to go? Stimulate. Let's have a stimulating session here. Okay. Yes, great info. So, looking at the SPY, I applied market internals to everything, David. That's why it's right here next to me on the left all the time, and it always has been. Wasn't ready to share till a little while ago, but yeah, exactly. So, okay. So, right here, right here is our breakout level. Up till this is still nothing. And I told you guys that there's a good chance we can just come up here and just kind of trinkle around and not really do much, and just kind of stickle around and do not really do much. Matter of fact, here's that line I drew. Remember, I drew this line for you, and I said if we break out here, we have these things to deal with. But have we really broken out yet? Look at RSP, same kind of thing. Now, I think a lot of this has to do with the fact that we're not getting a lot of directional bias from the bond market and most global equities market. We're kind of in a wait and see mode. But nothing really has changed. Nothing really. We still don't know what any tariffs are going to be. We just know that they're going to be here soon and they're going to be nice and they're going to be beautiful, according to our president. Yes, I am being very sarcastic at this point. So we're in a hurry up and wait. Now, with that said, with that said, all right, with that said, I do believe something. We had a very minor report today, but the market started moving as a result of it. Point is, we're starting to become more sensitive to non-tariff news, where 2 weeks ago, it didn't matter what the news was. Like, people didn't even talk earnings 2 weeks ago. So now people are starting to come back to reality a little bit. If you look at VIX levels, although they're a little higher today, they're stabilizing. They look like they're stabilizing. They don't look like they're in a rush to go higher. Maybe one of the reasons why my assistant is still long the position. It's not going anywhere. It's kind of flat. See, Matt, it's not running away from us.
Mm-mm.
No, no. And it doesn't look like it wants to really break down either, but it looks like it just wants to kind of sit around here, very much like the market. That's exactly what right, Wild Ranger. The market is, he says, the market, please write to everyone. Um, yes, the market seems to be normalizing until we have the next VIX. You know when we'll know if the market's normalizing? When Trump says something really nutty next couple of times. We'll know. We'll see. Hopefully, volatility will just start getting lower and lower and lower and lower, and most of the good stuff will be priced in. All right. Anyway, bro. Anyway, see, I don't know who you're writing. You're writing to Chef Boyd. Boyd. I don't even know if Boyd is here today. All right, let's continue this. Let's not get into these political discussions, okay? Um, but there he is. There's a Boyd. Boyd's here. So what I want to say is I think we want to be very, very cautious right now. We want to see where earnings takes us. By the way, mega caps. That's that line I drew a few days ago. Look how close we came. Yeah. Yeah. Sylvia, why don't you say this to everybody? Everybody. Yeah, yeah, it is. You're right. It is nutty. It is nutty. So I'm hoping that Trump will just keep things to more like, not firing Powell, normal things, not rewriting the Constitution, uh, just doing presidential stuff. I couldn't agree with you more. I couldn't agree with you more. Uh, what was it that said it? Sylvia, I couldn't agree with you more, actually. So yeah, I kind of want to go back to normal. I just want to go to normal, you know. Changing names of things. I just want egg prices to go lower, folks. I just want to have a normal. I just want to have a normal life. I'm not looking to get into a political discussion. So, Sergio, I'll talk about that. I'll talk about Sergio. Can you please, folks? Can you please, folks, for everyone, right? He's asking what sectors you believe are less affected by Trump's tariffs. I will talk about that. I will talk about that. So, gold. Let's take a look at GLD again, real quick here. GLD starting to come back up, not looking too bad. But yeah, I just want normal market action. I'm not asking for a lot. I just want normal market action. But all in all, things are improving. And I'll tell you the most important thing. I'll tell you the most important thing. Um, think about where we were 3 weeks ago. Think about where we were just a few weeks ago. Hurricane 5, Hurricane 5, Hurricane 4, Hurricane 3, Hurricane 2. We're not out of the danger zone yet, folks. We're not out of the danger zone yet. But a Hurricane 2 after this is a picnic. So I think the market is normalizing. I think Wild Ranger or somebody said that option pricing should go back to normal once volatility falls below 20. But we're already nibbling a little bit. We took a little baby profit on what was it this morning? CELH. It was a trade I gave like a week ago. CELH took a little profit there. Got another one. Got a couple of trades in the swing programs. Starting to nibble a little bit, just a little bit, but nothing crazy yet. Nothing crazy. I've been doing a pretty good job of keeping you guys out. Now, where is where's my sheet? Hold on one second. Oh, one second. One second. I have a sheet I prepared. There's a couple of sheets I prepared. First off, if you weren't in my morning show, one second. Okay. If you were not in my morning show, why don't you guys go ahead and grab this? This will give you a good idea of all the earnings and where all the earnings were, okay? This week, all the hot stuff that's happening this week, okay? Here it is for all of you in the YouTube, okay? That's all the earnings this week. And you could see here, you could uh you could see here while we're on this topic. You could see that we got a lot of earnings tomorrow. You got UPS, Starbucks, Visa, cruise liners, cars, Coca-Cola. Poor shame on you. It was a good show. We had a good morning show. And then Wednesday you have Microsoft and Meta. And then Thursday you've got Amazon and Apple. So this is going to be a very, very tumultuous week. A lot of stuff is going to happen. My biggest problem still remains that the US dollar is below par. This right here, I'll show you. To me, this is the biggest tragedy of all of this. It's got an A line right now to the downside. That's bad. Very, very, very bad. But the bond market, on the other hand, uh, I don't know about dollar lower, stocks higher, but I'm actually concerned about the US dollar because I'm concerned more about our stability, our economy. The bond market looks pretty good over here. Looks like it's creating a morning shows at 8 o'clock Eastern time every day. Why is everything so difficult for me today? Do you know, Matt?
One of those days.
One of those days. See this problem, folks? We have a nice little ascending triangle, but we're going to break out into all of this stuff here. There's a lot of stuff here. It would be nice if there was something really positive from the White House fundamentally that wasn't like, it's good, it's beautiful, it's going to be great, but something real concrete. And that would take us somewhere over here past all of this. But then you have a higher chance of it getting zapped. I'm just thinking out loud. Um, I'm just thinking out loud. Now, let's look. No, let's not look at anything yet. Before we look at something, remember I told you I had other things for you. Let me go ahead and print this again. I don't know where my copy went, so I'm going to just print this out again. See if it prints out. If it doesn't print out, I'll just verbally tell you. There it is. Let me go get it real quick, folks. 1 second. Okay. So let's start here, okay? You may want to take notes on this. All right. Matt, make sure you keep everyone updated, okay? All right. So, given the reliance on digital advertising spending, the Max 7 members, they have a lot of sensitivity to the economy. That's kind of obvious. Apple, Tesla provide discretionary products and services that'll be deferred, if not altogether cut. Now, looking at earnings expectations for the whole, the expectation is that Max 7 earnings will be up. You want to write this down. About 20% in the first quarter, up from a year ago, on about 10% higher revenue. So they're looking at the Max 7 to be about 20% higher EPS and about 10. I'm just rounding it up or down for you just to make it easier for you to remember. Just remember 20% EPS, 10% revenue. It's actually 19.6 and it's actually 10.9, but let's just say 20 and 10, okay? Close enough. So, and those are actually what, if you take into account what Tesla and Alphabet already came out with, and then projecting everything else into that, okay? Okay. But that's what the target is. And remember, it's a moving target. But if we start moving below that target, it starts weighing on us, okay? And also, and you all know this, that these numbers have been coming down quite a bit. All right, coming down quite a bit. Okay. Administrator, please go to Customer Service Live for questions about AlphaZone Pro. Here's a good question. Does the size of the bars on the Volt give any idea as to the power of the trend? The size of the bars, and more importantly, the directional bias of the bars. Like right now, for example, they're marching at a fairly, I mean, they're choppy. They're not going straight down. How much overlap do they have? How much overlap do they have? How strong are they also? There's a lot of factors. And estimates for the Max 7s have been going down. So this 2010 that I just gave you, 20% EPS and 10% revenue, that's with all the revenue coming down, okay? Now, in addition to, now this is as of Friday, okay? This is as of Friday. So this is really recent because nothing happens today. We also have 177 S&P 500 members by the end of this week. So it's a really, really fertile. The stuff that I just gave you, that's only the big ones. I know managers who cut their portfolios in half. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So this week we got McDonald's, Starbucks, UPS, Pfizer, Visa, we have a lot of companies, real heavyweights. By the end of the week, we'll have first quarter results for 356 S&P members, making up 71% of its rank, which is enough to make decisions based on, okay? Through Friday, April 21st, we've seen 179 S&P members, or only 35% of the index. Total so far is we're up 18% EPS and 4.2% beat revenue. It's not that great, but with all these numbers coming down, the win rate has been 69%. In other words, 69% have beaten EPS and 63 have beaten revenue. Is that good? Is it great? It's nothing because we haven't had a significant number come out. We've only had about a third come out. Looking at the number as a whole, and this is something I want you guys to write down because this number will become something that the market is going to start looking at as early as Friday afternoon or Monday. Looking at the first quarter as a whole, combining the 179 members with estimates companies still to come, the expectation is that earnings will be up about 10% on about 4% higher revenue. Now, folks, that's one of the lowest revenue numbers we've seen. That's one of the I have no faith in what more importantly, Stacy, it's not how much faith I have in what analysts say. It's what the analysts say about forward-looking statements that the companies are not giving them. But I get this data. So Stacy, you ask actually a really fair question. So I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I get this information only from one source. That's FactSet. FactSet does one thing. They only do this. They're actually really expensive. And, most institutional banks and hedge funds, they don't trade technicals. They trade fundamentals. They trade longer term than we do. So they trade quarter to quarter, year to year. So for them, this data is like it's like charts for us. They'll pay thousands of dollars a year. I don't want to do that because I only use it for this. And I go to Zacks Research, which just copies this from FactSet shamelessly, and I get it from them. So my point is they're actually really good at what they do, and they only do one thing. They do earnings and earnings adjustments, and they are shockingly good. FactSet. FactSet. I don't find S&P Global to be nearly as good as FactSet. This is straight from FactSet. That's why I give it to you so late, because I'm relying on Zacks to give it to me. So it's actually really good. Yeah, it's very good information. This is not from like, Stansberry, or this is from FactSet. This is like what institutions rely on. This is very, very accurate. I've been using it for probably 20 years now. So, now this would follow. So last quarter, the year ahead was 14% earnings growth on 5.7% revenue. Now they're looking at 9.4 on 4% higher revenue. So yeah, you just go here. Look. Let me show you how I found this. So look, there's a little trick here. Okay, you go to Zacks, right? You scroll all the way down. See this dude right here? This guy? He just shamelessly takes it from Zacks, but he updates it like once a week during earnings. So I go here and I see which one is the newest one. See, this one is Fridays, okay? And he makes it look like it's his, but it's not his. It's sometimes at the bottom they'll say courtesy of. See, he says Zacks. It's not Zacks. It's from Facts. Let me see if I could find it for you. I promise you it's from FactSet. I guarantee you it's from FactSet. Here. And this is 23rd. So the next update we'll probably get is Friday. And I basically just take the best stuff out of here, and I give it to you. I'm not trying, and I don't lie to you and pretend that I created it. I would have to be insane to come up with this data. But yeah, FactSet, the guy all the way at the bottom on the left-hand side, I've been doing it for years. I mean, when I say years, no, I mean like decades. See, you learn, it's free, it doesn't cost you anything. They get from FactSet, saw that on Zach's last night. Yeah, yeah, it's FactSet. I don't think they do like they try to like hide or lie. It's just it's FactSet. It's FactSet. So here's what I wanted to tell you guys, and this is the part that I'm nervous about. We don't have a big 4% higher revenue. Matt, do you remember what the revenue numbers used to be like a year ago, 2 years ago, what their estimates used to be? Like
Yeah.
20% higher,
It was
25% higher. They were like, we had some really good estimates. Uh, we had some really good estimates. And now the estimates, when you give this early in earnings a 4% leeway, that's very bad. I mean, 4% up, 4% down. You see where I'm going with this? And that's really, really important. Yeah, Adam, we were actually talking about some really important stuff here. So my point is Wall Street, assuming, and again, I'm not trying to be tough on Trump. I'm just, this is just assuming this whole tariff rhetoric just moves aside and the volatility continues moving lower and we can just kind of trust the market to stand on its own again. Today, we had a very, very mild report and the market moved on it. And it was like, oh my God, the market's actually reacting to some data. So the point is, folks, I'm not the only guy that reads this stuff. Institutions read this stuff. And if they see revenue expected up 4 and it comes -4, that's a big deal. That is a big deal. So we don't have a big room. If it's up like 25 and it comes out in at 19 or 18, oh well, but we're right now coming down to the fire. We don't have a lot of breathing room here. So 9.4%, 4%, last quarter 14.1, 5.7. And you can also see they're moving lower. They're moving lower. So Cyrus says, no way that happens. I don't listen to them. Who, Cyrus? Listening to who? Who are you talking about? Who? Tell me. I'm curious. Cyrus says, I don't listen to him. So I just want to know who you're talking about. You don't listen to the earnings numbers? No, I don't listen to them either. Wall Street listens to these numbers. Wall Street listens to these numbers. They do. They do. They do. And FactSet is exactly where institutions go. And I'm telling you that this is from FactSet. Okay. So that's the second thing I wanted to know. Premiums are starting to get cheaper. It's now not a matter of being able to find an option for the stock. Now it's a matter of just not finding any stocks because Carlos's earnings aren't just numbers, they're igniting switch. They're making people make decisions on them. Yeah, 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 yeah. People make decisions on it. Okay. And we may not make decisions on it, but others do make decisions on it. They do matter in the big scheme of things. I'm going to tell you guys something. If you give me a weekly, if you give me a weekly or a monthly chart, fundamentals actually start becoming a lot more valuable because they'll follow along more with like a monthly chart. Daily chart, intraday chart, forget about it. But sentiment is very important because this is overall sentiment. If revenue's not positive, Cyrus, 20% of value funds will not put money into the market, or they'll put 50% instead of 80%. How important that is? That's huge. That's huge. That could be a nice uptrend for us. You got to be reasonable, Cyrus. You got to look at it from that. You can't look at it also of only how will it impact us on a minute by minute basis. You got to look at it as how it'll impact us on a weekly and a monthly basis because that is our economy. Okay. All right. So now, like right now, I'm looking at maybe doing a trade for weekly cash flow, and or when Matt's finished with this trade, he can maybe put one on for me. But option spreads are coming together. Volatility is definitely coming down. Isaac says, sorry, came in late. Did you go over earnings? I did. I did. I'm actually going over implied volatility right now, but I did go over earnings and I gave folks this sheet, Isaac. Let me give it to you so you have it, okay? Here you go, Isaac. What I was saying was that here you go, Isaac. What I was saying was is that earnings, that implied volatility is coming down, and while implied volatility is still above 20, This is not a crazy level. We're not at a crazy level, especially you consider where we came from. No, Jim. You see, Jim, earnings whisper and all that, that's a takeoff of what the estimates actually are and opinions. Fact set is more first place. Like if I'm an institution, I'm going to look at one of two places. I'm going to look at S&P Global or I'm going to look at fact set. I used to look at S&P Global. Uh, you can get them through Bloomberg actually. This is a lifetime ago. But I actually didn't find them to be nearly as useful and as accurate as FactSet. I found FactSet to be useful. And then I don't know how, because it was a decade ago, I just happened to look at Zacks and I was like, wait a minute, this is not there. This is FactSet. And then I read below, we use FactSet somewhere below, like a disclaimer or something, that it's definitely FactSet. I mean, they just copy and paste. They're not trying to be smart about it. So, why not get it from FactSet? Tickers? What tickers? I haven't gone any tickers. I just shared this right here. It's this doc right here. There you go. Beat. Okay. So let's now look at stocks. Okay. Now, folks, I have a lot of consumer staples on my chopping block, which is actually a good sign for the market. Um, Now, I don't expect you to take all of them, but I do have a lot of them. So, one to a customer, okay? If you do more, they're highly correlated with each other. Just remember that. Let me give you a good analogy. I'm currently short a very well known consumer staple stock in the pit right now, which we're not going to mention. I wanted to short a lot. I wanted to short this stock right here, which happens to be on our list. I refrained myself from doing so because the stock that we have is very correlated to the stock that we currently have in in the pit because I don't want you guys to have overexposure to the same sector. Capiche? All right. Let's go let's go through our stocks. So let's just start with CPB, right? I like the stock a lot. So if you're not in the pit, which you may or may not be, uh, great stock. Very stubborn, Boyd. Very, very stubborn. Everything's been stubborn, Boyd. That's because we have no stocks trending right now. Very stubborn. Everything's been stubborn. 25 days out, 66 delta is fine, 37 right here. Now, is this my first choice? Is this an A plus stock? No. But they're for both. They're for call. It doesn't say calls any S dang. It doesn't say calls anywhere in the Google sheet, does it? So why would you assume it's calls? Does implied volatility just work for calls? It doesn't work for puts too? I got to give somebody a hard time today, right? It's got to be US dang. I got to give you a hard time today. All right, let's continue. KHC, same thing, same type of stock, same type of stock. Obviously, I'm not going to sell this stock in light of the stock that we have because remember at one point they were same company. Talk about correlation, right? They were so correlated, they were actually the same company. But it is a valid A line as soon as it moves below this level right here, which I think it will. Look how well it respects the 100-day moving average. $25 days to go, 64 right here. Here's your sweet spot, 64.77. See how spreads are getting a little tighter now? Nice, nice. 30, 31, right around here. CHD, Church and Dwight, still bearish. Also consumer defensive. Now, folks, one to a customer. Don't all rush in at the same time. Spreads are too wide here. You can do this one, but spreads are a little too wide. Don't all rush in one to a customer. GIS. $18 days out, 71 delta, 57.50 right here. stop right around there. Hershey's. Are you guys understanding when I say that consumer staples are breaking down? And that's bullish, actually. That's pretty bullish. It's not bearish. Hershey's. Now remember, one to a customer. You can't do KHC and CPB and CHD and you can't do all of them. You can't do all of them. They're the same sector. They move together. Yes, options are reasonable right now. Because implied volatility is not that crazy right now. 18 days out, 71. Oh, these will get better. Hershey's will get better. I'm a little surprised how out of whack they are, but they'll get better. We're moving in the right direction. Cart. Look at this baby. Maple Bear. Look how it hits the 100-day. Backs away. Backs away. Stop loss right about 44. I gotta say, I had such a good weekend. I really missed you guys. Usually I'm stressed out Saturday and Sunday, but I was ready to go today. I was rushing to go back to work. Nice, very good. Post that in the
I will.
72 Delta, 43 put. UNH, still a short. We've been talking about this almost every day. Still a short. It's a little deviated, but it's starting to come closer to the 8-day EMA. Be careful here. You probably find something better, but at least it doesn't have correlation to consumer staples. Somebody asked me about what stocks will have the least amount of correlation to tariffs, utilities, um, crypto stocks, gold stocks, oil stocks. No, oil stocks will. Forget about oil stocks. Gold stocks won't. Oil stocks. Uh, and healthcare, not as much. Healthcare. Tech stocks are screwed. Now, here's my theory on all of this tariff stuff. I'm going to tell you my personal opinion. Nothing's going to happen. It's going to be the Mexican Wall Part 2. That's my personal opinion. I'm entitled to my personal opinion. Whirlpool. Isn't this a beauty, Matt? Look at this. Hey, look, I'm entitled to my opinion, right? That's my opinion. So I think the first time I gave you this is my opinion. Nothing's going to happen. All right. Anyways, now I would love to see border security tightening and all. Don't get me wrong. I'd love to see all of this stuff. I want to see all of it. I helped offset. I want to see it more than anything. I just don't think I don't see it. Negotiation. Yeah. 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 Well, we'll see what happens, right? Yeah, fintech. I like fintech a lot. Fintech I like a lot. Right here. The problem is you got bonds. Bonds are gonna have a problem. Anyways, let's continue this. I like Whirlpool. Also does not have a lot of correlation to consumer staples. Thank you, Jason. Thank you. Very kind of you. Yeah, fintech. Fintech, definitely. I like fintech. So WHR, 18 days out, 72 delta, 82.50 puts. Somebody asked me about UNH. I think I skipped it because I guess they weren't wide. I'll give you guys a spread here. Let's do a 430 versus and sell a 425. 430 versus 425 for $2.50. China came out today again, by the way, for the fourth time and said we have not had any just a couple hours ago, they were on the Squawk Box. I heard them. Matt, didn't we hear
Yep.
China say the same
Yep.
thing? Yeah.
China says they haven't started negotiations.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's do the long side. Again, that's just my opinion. Why do they repeat the news? No, Art. I'll tell you why they repeat the news. Art, I explained this last week in the morning show, and I'm going to repeat it to you guys right now because most of you don't know this. So let me explain this to you, okay? 40 years ago, Art, when you and I were walking to school barefoot in the snow. No, I'm just kidding. But
Uphill both
seriously,
ways.
what'd you say?
Uphill both ways.
Uphills both ways. Yes, when we were doing all that, there were some dudes in the pit who were using keywords to trigger AIs to do program buying and selling in the pit. If you read the Market Wizards book, then you would know what I'm talking about right now is true. So now things are a little more sophisticated. They use AIs to decipher buzzwords that are related to market movings. The problem is these buzzwords they don't know if they don't know if the buzzwords repeat the same story or not. So they trigger buying and selling pressure on these news second, third, fourth, fifth time. Okay. All right. So let's continue. So stocks that I like to the upside right now. I like the stock VRNA. The problem is it needs to get out of this area right here. Till we get out of this area, I would be. See, algos don't know if, and they trigger the buy and sell. So these reports try to sucker the algos to buy in. That's why we have to know if it's a repeat report or if you guys don't know how many times you've been stopped out of a position because of a secondary report or a because of a report that already came out, and the market just doesn't know that it isn't recognizing it as an old report. You don't know how many times you've been stopped out because of that. That's why it's important to have the news on and know if it's a report is really market moving or if it's just very temporarily market moving. And you can if you're consistently watching the same news because a lot. Because remember, the algos don't know, and the algos are buying based on what the keywords they're hearing. Ah, I see. Never thought of that. Read Market Wizards, man. All right, so this stock is not ready. It hasn't broken out yet. Now you can argue, you can anchor it right here, and you could say, well, Roger, it actually did break out. It did, but I would want a real breakout right now because because the market is not strong, so I want to see a market breakout. If the market was trending, then I would take a trade right here. But right now, I want to trade it on a breakout. Let's not get into all this political nitty gritty right now, okay? Moss. I do like Moss. I do like Moss, but generally speaking, the stock is overextended in the short term and a little overextended. So, and I don't like how it looks on trend wise either. So I'm not. Do I like it a little bit? Yeah, I like it. Would I put a lot of money into this? No, no, I wouldn't. Matt, why don't you give folks an update on that trade? We're going to call that the Rip Van Winkle spy trade. You're welcome, Adam. You're welcome. Right here, 67.75 delta right here. 27.28 right here. But again, you know how I feel about this. It's too choppy. It's not good for day trading. It's below the VWAP. It's coming up to key levels. Should I really tell you how I feel? ZS. It looks like it's breaking out here, but I don't like it intraday. I may be talked into buying this if I had a couple of shots of something, if I won the lottery, and if this was above the VWAP. You guys never have to wonder what I'm really thinking. And the options are pretty expensive. Very, very tough double day. Very tough day today. Very, very tough day. Pain in the ass. Debit spreads right now, they're not really going to protect you. They're just going to offset some of your upside and downside. I mean, it's just shifting your risk, Naples fan. Debit spreads is just a means to shifting your risk and reward, shifting it. You're just shifting things around. Right here, you can buy the 250, 220 and buy 225, offset it right here. Make sure it's 250 or less. But again, do I like this? Would I put you into this? Is this even a B setup? That's what I'm saying. We're in tough times, folks. I mean, look at these stocks. This is awful. Awful. This is the kind of garbage we're dealing with. I don't even want to give you a setup there. Take two. Let's see. I gotta take two steps back before getting into this. It's got to get to the VWAP. Excuse me, to the moving average first. This is very ugly. Very, very ugly. Don't like this at all. Don't like this at all. CNP, let's take a look at CNP. That was on my list this morning. It does look good, but this is a utility company. This is defensive. That's not the kind of stock you want to be looking at. But yeah, it is very nice. One of the few stocks that I would actually buy. Let me look at Palantir real quick. No, not today. Let me look at Walmart real quick. Nope, not today. How about TD? Toronto Bank. The point is, folks, we got some crappy stocks here. Here, if you want a CNP option, I'll give you one. 18 days out, 76 delta, 37 call. But I'm telling you right now, when the best looking stock is a utility, and I did, this was my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, fifth stock this morning. Fifth stock this morning. You want me to look at Charter? Yeah, it looks okay. Well, let's see. Where should we start? It has to break out of this area. Has it broken out yet? No. I mean, it's below the VWAP. There's nothing. It's junk, garbage. Hood, let's look at Hood. Not for day trading, maybe for swing trading. And then if the market started coming up right now, I don't know about this market. The worse the market is, the better the stock has to be for me to want it, because I have to rely less on the market. If the market's amazing, it's much easier for me to swallow this. Just being honest with you guys. Just being honest with you. And by the way, Sean, don't take it personally. Not that you ever do, but it's not like my stocks were Picasso's either. You know what I'm saying? All right. I think you guys have a webinar or something to attend. I think Lance is trying to sell you something. I don't know, some same day expiration debit spreads or something like that. I don't know, or credit spreads. I have no idea. I don't get involved with him. But no, yeah, like Richard says, there's no Picasso's right now. There's no Picasso's. Keep your powder dry. Keep your powder dry. Yeah, Volt is not going anywhere right now. It's just chopped around. Let's look at Core. I'll take a look at Core. Yes, Core does look good. You're right. Wasn't Core on my yeah, it was on my morning list. Core was on my morning list. What was the other one? Hold on. Let me look at the other one. GE? Let me look at GE. No, but Core does look good. Core does look good. I must be getting very desperate. But Core does look pretty good. Yeah, Core does look good. Let's look at HII. It doesn't look bad, but not for a day trade, maybe for a swing trade. I'm telling you, folks, things are not EMN. Let's look at EMN. Yeah, it looks like a great short. But I already gave it to you this morning. All right, folks, you go enjoy the class or whatever it is you need to do. Please be careful. This is not a hero's market. This is not a time to be a hero, okay? I'm going to try to do a weekly cash flow trade for you today, okay? I'm gonna see if I can get the one that I want off. Okay. I'll see you guys later. Take care of yourselves. If you have a question, send me an email. Don't mess around with this market. And Murray, I hope you had a good time last night. Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Matt will update you on that